Shout out to J&J.
So I just want to send a shout out to J&J Sports for having me once again.
This is, episodes, man. You guys got a real good thing going on.
I thought we'd do kind of a throwback topic. It would be fun.
Yeah.
And I wanted to look at animals in pro wrestling, and I couldn't believe some of the info that I found out.
Yeah.
And all of the animals involved in the history of pro wrestling, we're going to kind of talk about. And, what's interesting about this is people would actually face off against these animals.
Mm-hmm.
So as of 2006, it is illegal in 20 states to wrestle a bear. Although bear wrestling is the first thing that comes to mind when I think about wrestling with animals.
Yeah.
And I learned so they would put a muzzle on the bears, and they also had their claws removed for safety, which is definitely inhumane. But
Right.
And it was also rigged to have the bears win every time. Do you think that was a smart move?
Yeah, probably. Because you're still dealing with a massive animal. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that they should have let the wrestlers actually try to win, or it's probably better that?
No, it's probably better that way because it's probably better that way because you're still dealing with an animal. At any moment they could severely hurt you in any way they can. So yeah.
And crazy fact here, they would actually let audience members participate. And I'm wondering, do we see anything like that happen today?
Probably not. Nah, that would be insane if they. Nah.
And famous wrestler Ricky Steamboat would bring a crocodile and also a large lizard into the ring. He says at one time he had a South American caiman and a small crocodile, and then at other times he had a monitor lizard, which he called his dragon.
Okay.
And he said that trainers were taking care of them mainly, like he wasn't bringing them out. But is there still a risk here with these animals?
Yeah, I mean, because what if they get loose? You know what I mean? Somebody's too close, they bite the ankle, something like that. Unless you have them secured in a cage or something like that, they shouldn't just have full access.
Yeah, wrestler Bruno Sammartino actually wrestled an orangutan, and he said that it hurt because the animal had no fighting training. And I feel like he could have been killed.
Yeah.
Do you think he had any kind of a chance?
No, orangutans are like super strong, and they might not look as strong, but they're strong for sure.
Yeah, I can't imagine wrestling an animal like that and then saying that it hurt. I mean,
Definitely.
It sounds horrible.
I mean, that's kind of how I knew James. I don't know if you guys know that clip where the guy was playing with the orangutan in a cage and he pulled his arm, literally almost tore his arm off and broke it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then wrestler Stu Hart wrestled tigers, and he had even planned to wrestle a cheetah. Do you think that they should bring animals back to wrestling?
Even though it's dangerous, I think they should. Do I feel like some animals should be off limits? Absolutely. Like a lion, you shouldn't be wrestling a lion. I wouldn't wrestle what you said, a cheetah. I mean, I can see a cheetah. Just stuff like that. Not heavy animals though.
Yeah, I think as long as it's humane and the animals aren't being hurt in any way,
right?
It's okay to maybe have animals out there just for show. And
yeah,
all of that.
Right.
But,
right.
And then we've got Davy Boy Smith and the Dynamite Kid, his sidekick, and they had a British bulldog as a mascot that they would bring out.
British bulldog. Okay.
Do you think that's the most socially acceptable animal to bring out?
Yeah.
For wrestling.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
And they also weren't wrestling it. It was just like kind of their mascot.
Kind of like that. Okay. And it was a real bulldog. Okay. Yeah.
And what do you think is more iconic looking at the animals? We've got Jake the Snakes, Birdman Coco's bird, and then The Undertaker with his vulture.
I'm going to say The Undertaker with the vulture.
I agree about that.
That's, yeah. Shout out to Undertaker. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. Yeah.
And then, so in 1999, it was called Unforgiven. It was a pay-per-view match. And they had Al Snow and Big Boss Man wrestle in a cage surrounded by what was planned to be vicious guard dogs. Is this a good idea?
No. In no way, shape, or form. Some stuff you shouldn't just do, but like I said, a lot of people are going to try to do these things, and they're not going to get the outcome that they're looking for. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. Like dogs, trained attack dogs trying to, stop you as you're trying to wrestle.
Right.
And luckily, they actually weren't able to find any mean dogs. Instead, they just took in any dog that they could find. And the dogs were not only friendly with the wrestlers, but they went to the restroom all over the floor, and they also tried to mate with one another.
Okay.
I think that's actually pretty hilarious,
Yeah.
considering they wanted vicious attack dogs.
Yeah.
It's also funny that it's considered one of the worst WWF matches in history. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would agree. But that just goes to show, animals. Some dogs are not like that. You know what I mean? They definitely didn't do their research when, picking the dogs. You know what I mean? So they should have did like pit bulls or like, you know what I mean, something like that.
I was kind of wondering, out of all of these animals that we've mentioned, if you had to, which one would you be willing to wrestle?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to say definitely like a dog or something like that. Probably would not know lion, anything that's heavy set like a tiger, none of that. No.
I wouldn't mind that match with the friendly dogs. That sounds like
that'd be cool.
Easy.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely say that. But anything outside of dog or definitely would not know alligator. Never, none of that. I done seen people get the arm twisted off and all that stuff now.
Yeah, I agree. I would definitely probably avoid the orangutan too.
Oh yeah,
because I don't want.
They're super strong.
Putting his hands on me.
Super strong.
Like
yeah.
But y'all let us know what you think about that. Mm-hmm. Have you seen any of these matches? And which animals would y'all be willing or not willing to wrestle?
Right. Let us know in the comment section. For sure. And you guys, that's the end of episode 101. We appreciate you guys. We are finally in the triple digits. We thank God every day for this, man. Just for you guys, thank you for all y'all support. We are now currently on Twitch. So you guys can catch that link in our description. James, anything you want to add?
Everybody, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and let us know what you want to see in the comments. We're ready to cover it.
Definitely. More great guests coming soon. But as always, I'm Jamar McKeel.
I'm James Stewart.
And y'all got served with J&J Sports, episode 101. See you.
J Sports.
Coming to y'all live in 2025.